Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is, got a lot of sort of relics and objects in front of me, so I'm going to go through a particular area that I was doing. Now this area during World War II is in Australia. It was used by the 25th Brigade. Now the 25th Brigade was raised around July 1940. Its first area of action was in the UK, so I was sent there just in case the Germans eventually got into the UK. They were there, sort of ground defence type thing. Next I was sent to the Middle East, Syria, Lebanon type campaign. They also went to New Guinea, and they're in the Borneo campaign as well. They originally with the 6th Division, transferred to the 9th Division, later the 7th Division. Now it primarily existed of 3 companies per battalion, and the battalions were the 2nd 31st, the 2nd 32nd and the 2nd 33rd, and later the 2nd 25th Battalion. Now my interest in this is because of the 2nd 25th Battalion. I did a bit of chop time when I was in the army in 25th 49th Battalion Royal Queensland Regiment, where the 25th Battalion was later merged into the 2549. It's also referred to as a Darling Downs Regiment, so I was out at Darling Downs in the Warwick and Toowoomba regions. It's later disbanded in 1997 as a full-time unit, and yeah, merged into 25th 49. Right, I'm going to start this, go through sort of the area now. None of the pictures or videos would do it justice, but you could see sort of rivets, indentations into the ground of gun pits, and plus the tent lines. It sort of dropped off, it really flattened, real hard ground, so it's where they would have had their tent lines in there. Found some junk with it, so it's a bike brake lever, and little latch. Now that could be from the era, I'm not too sure. I haven't really cleaned it up or got into it, but it's something that I'll get along later when I've got nothing else to do. Some melted lead. Now that's the same, it could be from that time or not, as there has been a lot of development. Now 90% of this site has been cleared for housing, so the little area I've got is pretty much all that's left of it, so it's scraping through it. I found some, as they call, clad, so $2, $1.10 and another $1. I did find another $1, I don't know where it went, but this is your money. Ball bearing, that's an annoying sound. Now an old lock, broke up into pieces, but it's an otter lock. Now I tried to look at it, look that up, but I couldn't find much information on it. It is another thing that we'll get to later and see how it goes. So that's an otter lock, O-T-T-E-R, and this could be of the time, not sure, but if you look, there is some, someone's got into that, put some circles on it, but it's the end of a spoon or a fork. There's a maker's mark type thing on the back, but you can't really make it out to identify it. Now that sort of things it could be or not, sort of that era, so we're looking for the relics from the 1940s era. So what I'll go into now, sort of when I go to find some sites, to sort of get an idea if it is there, what I do look for is sort of broken glass. Now the glass back then was a lot thicker, and if you manage to get big enough pieces, you can find the, the companies with the brand labels back then, or the old beer bottles would have had property of such and such, and a lot of glassware had property of such and such. If you look at an old picture on the side, it's got some info on that. But getting into the glass, I've got an old Brill cream. So I'll chuck these up to about here. I'll chuck a photo of them up, get a better understanding of what it looks like today. But there's the old Brill cream jar, get your dandruff. Found some old pill bottles, I believe they are. But all this will get cleaned up. This sort of put it in a little area for the 25th. Now the 25th they were in this area. I do have photos which you'll see. I'll put it up at the start of the video, or they were at the start of the video, I should say, during it. They were in the area, they were part of this brigade. Whether or not they were stationed in the area this camp is or further north, it's not too sure, but still a bit of interest in it. Now another thing to look for is these grommets. They come in all shapes and sizes. Now you'll see these on tarps or raincoats, japaras, sort of anything that you can put a rope through to tighten or bind together. You can see them on your normal tarps today. They're still obviously still used. Even camping chairs have got it, used as outlets for water and things like that. But yeah, there are other things I look forward to. They're not too bad because it's good. Once you know you've got that, you're somewhere in a good chance you're in a campsite or somewhere that's ever used. Now they can be annoying because they ring pretty high on the detector and get you a bit excited. And sometimes when you see them in the ground, that's what you first see. So when you pull up a coin, put a coin beside it, it can be a bit, especially if that coin's dirty, it can get you a bit excited, but not really. Next thing, found an old lock. It's a bit rusted, but you can see an old keyhole in it. Yeah, and an old key. It's not the key for it, maybe the key for the auto lock, but yeah, we're not too sure. Not sure these are obviously some form of tie down point for something. I will get into that and find it. Again, if you do know what it is, just chuck it in and let us know. Alright, so we'll get through now. So next thing you go through, you find a lot of ammo there. So most of it's fired. You don't really want to find the live stuff. But I'll go through and you do find a few projectiles. Now this I believe is off a training round, as the gap on it. But yeah, you find the projectiles of your 303, like you can find them. 303, so then you can find some spent shells, spent casings from 303s. A lot of them, see this one's burnt because a lot of the areas have been back burnt. You got to think 80 years, they've probably been back burnt 3 or 4 times at least. And then you come across things like, that's like your 45s and your 9mm and things like that. And one thing I did come across is an old 50 cal shell. Now the bottom's been cut off. I've got to get into that and see what it is and what potentially could have happened, whether it was an extractor claw ripping it off as it got ejected from some form of weapon, or they cutting the bottom off for chest pieces or to play games or something with. But that's what your 50 cal would usually look like when you find it. Not a nice big chunk. You don't want to get hit by it. Okay, moving on, where are we at to now? So, been finding a few of these, and I did a bit of research on it to find it, and I do believe it is a part of a boar snake. Now, what a boar snake was, there would have been a long rope attached to that, so when you pulled your barrel off, or you're cleaning your barrel, you could drop this down the barrel, pull it out the end, and then you pull the rope through. So when you pull the rope through, you can clean all the carbon or whatever out of the barrel, or even chuck some oil down it, like, a bit of oil on it. But yeah, just go straight down the barrel, pull her out, and there's your thing. I found a few of them. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Or the other option is it's off a safety razor, which I've got some to go through later, and I'll show you that. But I'm pretty sure that's a boar snake, because I've lined it up on a 303 projectile, and she's pretty. I think she's good to go. What do we go through next? All right. So other things you can find, and it's a good sign when you're in it, when you hit it, is old toothpaste things. Now I found other ones better nicked than this. But you can find old toothpaste and old toiletry creams and things like that lying around. That's one there, she's just a bit dirty. Yeah, if you're lucky, you might get some brand name. Yeah, I've got some up. Pretty sure it's not a photo, but I'll chuck some up here somewhere. Alright. Now these are my sort of like getting into the favourite finds. So I found this. She's pretty rusted, but she's either a salt and pepper shaker or a powder shaker. Probably can start going through the brands and see what sort of, if it's a powder shaker or salt and pepper by the shape of the holes. I'll get onto that. She's pretty rusted, even in 2 pieces it's come in. So next thing, got a little buckle here. Now I believe this may be off some old jungle pants, or the pants they were wearing sort of more around the Guinea and the desert sort of thing, like the short pants, where they put that and then tighten it. Not too sure. Still got to clean a bit of rust off. She's only had a small clean, but that's my theory on that bit for now. And then you get your little, these may be off a cleaning kit, I think, as they're taut, small, or good chance off webbing. So you'd have your cords come there and they'd use to pull that taut. Another little grommet, so whether that's off a bootlace or something, even if it's that era, it may be modern, but she's a bit deep, so I wouldn't dug it up. Yeah, more webbing, so you've got some webbing buckle clips, webbing buckles here, so we use that, just like we'll feed it through, pull it taut, latch it back in. So I found 2 of them. and some more. I'm not sure what these are. I thought they may have been slouch hat chin strap things, but they seem a bit too big off it. So maybe off the peak cup, or even a cleaning kit, or smaller thing, smaller bag or pouch. Now, go through more buttons, or some buttons. So I've got a few of these. What do I get? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We'll have a good one out, and I'll show you. So little pants buttons, I believe. Again, off the short shorts and that. Found a few of them at this site. They are semi-common from where I was, but I haven't at other places I've been to found as many, but it's always interesting. And found a lot of these sort of plasticky buttons. Now, I'm not sure the area, some of them were deep, some of them weren't. But again, that goes in the pile, and later on I'll get into it and look it up and see if there's any sort of historic value to it, or if it's just new, someone walking through there popped a shirt button. Whether or not it's off, because where they were allowed into the city to go out on weekends, on weekend leave, if they were granted it. So if they did the cheeky and didn't wear their uniform in and put some civvy clothes on, as they say, then that's maybe what happened. All right, now move on. Found this little bad boy. Now that is the head of a safety razor. Now the razors they used then are a lot different to what they are today. One, they're made out of metal, not plastic. But this is Best British. So that's the top. But here's what I found one. This isn't from this site, another site. She's a bit bent and worn, but that's what you're looking at. Something very, sorry, it's not the top of it that I found. This is the bottom. So the top, big chunk of lead like that. But that's pretty much it. She's a bit dented up, but safety razor. Alrighty. Another little pop button. It's popping in, maybe off a Japara raincoat thing, not too sure. Right, here's a nice one. So, Whitney, sorry about the pronunciation, but that is the inside of a compass. Now, it's a bit weird because it's a 360 degrees compass, but that is there. Some of these were issued to, or were carried by US soldiers. Chuck a photo up there, but that's that. Didn't find anything else on it, so it may have just been trash or rubbish, or dropped or discarded, someone cleaning it, or broken. Who knows? It's story in itself. Now with this, like some of them you do find some coins. As it's a living area, you find the toothpaste and the creams, the shaving stuff, buttons, like webbing stuff. So it's a lived-in area. Anything damaged or dropped or broken while cleaning or just sitting around, you find it. So you also find coins. Now these might be a bit hard to come up because this one's been through a bit of a fire, but that's in 1943 Australian halfpenny. And then on the back you got King Georgie. You can't see him as well, but eventually we'll get in, clean that. You can see the roo on it. What we also found is a 1943 Australian sixpence. You see the coat of arms on there, sixpence. With that as well was a nice threepence, 1943 as well. They're nice little finds. I almost went past this one, but the two I see wanted to keep going, and lucky we did. So that's it, a bit of history around that. That's not decimal currency. I believe decimal currency was 1966, so the coins and notes are used today. The threepence, sixpence, these actually silver content, so it's 92.5% silver. Now, the threepence weighs 1.4 grams, and the sixpence weighs about 2.8 grams. So do that, you're looking at 70 to 80 cents a gram for silver, so probably lucky you get $1, maybe $2 sort of thing, $50, $70, $80. It's the coins, yeah, the good stuff that I like. do find a lot of military badges. In particular, I've got 2 of these. Now that's a bent Australia flash. So that was worn on the shoulder, on the epaulette, just up here, on the bottom of it. So that's been dinted up and walked over, or cars, excavators, whatever, during being cleared. But there's a full one. The only thing it's missing is there should be a lug on each side for where they put the pin. So you get a lug here and a lug there. But there you go. The modern ones today, you might see on a modern soldier's uniform, is it's gold. It's not gold, it's coloured gold or brass. Next thing is some Australian Military Force buttons. So these are off the tunics. So the dress shirt, not the undershirt poly shirt, but so you get these in different sizes. So that's your larger one. Now we found 2 of this size. This is just a bit smaller. Right for you. And then these ones I hadn't found before. They seem to be a bit rare from what I'm told. And look, I found a pair. Now I originally thought these might have been cuff buttons, but it's the same thing. If you get it, I'll chuck a photo upside anyway if you can't see it. But they're apparently off a PCAT. I'll chuck a photo of what a PCAT is. So it's the Officer Senior NCO type hat. But yeah, it's a nice little thing. Also, you get some Rising Sun. So this is a World War II era Rising Sun badge. It is dinted up. That you get it. So you can see the King crown or the Tudor crown. So that was more like the crown of choice for George. Where if you see Queen Elizabeth, it seems to more where I think it's St Andrew's crown, St Edward's crown, where you will see on modern. We can see that. I'll bring up here. Here's another one. This wasn't from this side. This is another one. That's another Rising Sun shoulder flash. But you can see the crown in the middle. Sorry, Rising Sun collar badge. Sorry, stolen a bit. Yep. And yeah, as I was saying, Queen Elizabeth likes to wear the St Edward's crown, which you see on modern, say, military, even police. The crown, it's sort of got like a heart thing in it. Sort of looks like a heart with the center point coming up. Now the next one I've got, which is don't see many people pulling these out, but correct me if I'm wrong, is what's known as a bomb badge or a grenade badge. So if you look at this badge, it looks like an old-fashioned bomb. So down the bottom you got your circle bomb and then your flame. So that's what he's trying. A lot of units wear this. Now within the Australian one, it could be engineers or artillery. So I can't find any with the exact because it's a bit obscure for what it looks like. If you do know, please tell me. The only one I've seen online that said it was a Royal Marine Artillery one, but I don't think that's the case because the area I was in, yes, the Australian forces are there. There's also American units. The American units that used it was the Ordnance Corps, but theirs is still again quite different. But it'd be very interesting for the history on that one. But yeah, so that's a lot of my interesting finds from that site, which I'll hold pretty close to me because it's a little bit of old history I can sort of somewhat link to. But yeah, got any comments or whatever, chuck it in. If I've said anything wrong, let me know for sure. But yeah, that's it. This first video of this type, I plan to do a bit more on this and give more information, and if there's any decent photos of the areas to give an explanation or whatever, well, I'll chuck that in too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've gone through everything, so keep on swinging.